Ladies and gentlemen, the outgoing commander of United States Army Africa and the Southern European Task Force, Major General Patrick J. Donahue II.
Thank you, General Rodriguez, for those kind words and being here today. I want to give special thanks for all those who adjusted their calendar at short notice to be here, to include General Campbell and other fellow general officers, both Italian and American, and the distinguished guests that are here, both Italian and American. I'd like to thank Prefetto Solda and Dr. Bulgarini and General Mezzavilla and General Ricciardi, who represent the Italian leadership here in Veneto and Vicenza. Thank you for being here. Also, I want to give special thanks to the band, to the Fanfara Brigata Cavalleria Pozzolo di Friuli band. Great job on our national anthems, both difficult songs. You played them very well. Thank you. And I want to thank the soldiers that are out here. You look great. Other thanks I'd like to give thanks to the Republic of Italy, the Veneto region, and Vicenza. Grazie per la vostra ospitalità. Thanks for your hospitality. Your country and the surrounding region are rich in culture and history, and your cuisine and wines are the best in the world. You have at least the Donahue family thinks that. You have been great strategic partners for what we do in Africa, like General Rodriguez mentioned, and also very engaged in NATO, ally in Afghanistan, and in Europe. Most importantly, you are gracious hosts for our families who love it here. We are all very lucky to have been here for over 50 years, and thank you for that. I want to thank the Vicenza military community, the U.S. Army garrison, the dental and the health clinics, and all the tenant units. The Vicenza military community is a wonderful place to live, work, and play. Thanks to the hard work and professionalism of the soldiers, civilians, contractors, and Italian nationals who serve us every day here. I want to thank my teammates at U.S. Africa Command and the components that serve Africa Command. We've been asked to do some extraordinary things this last 2 years. And places like Mali, South Sudan, Central African Republic, Nelson Mandela's funeral, Nigeria, and Somalia. We met every challenge because we worked together so well and routinely every day. My greatest hope is that the incoming commanders who are falling in on these commands also fall in on the great relationship we've established these last 2 years. I want to thank my partners in Africa. From the country team to the French, to the 54 country teams, to the French, British, and Italian armies, to the African armies in each of those 54 countries, USARAF has always been warmly welcomed, and we have built strong, enduring partnerships over these last 2 years. Most African militaries possess the will, but lack the means to address the challenges facing them. By partnering with these militaries, the U.S. country teams and the French, Italians, and British, where appropriate, we are enabling Africans to solve their own problems and face their own threats. We see that every day on the continent. To the incredible soldiers and civilians of U.S. Army Africa, you have made the impossible seem routine by solving problems, protecting Americans, and building capacity in Africa that most thought was impossible. You have become innovators and team builders, learned how to work within the interagency, and have built a great reputation within the Army and in Africa in the process. You make me very proud to have been your commander. Thank you very much. Then my wife, Maureen. Each assignment in the Army has allowed our family to grow, and this assignment has been no exception. Thank you for the active involvement in the community and making things fun for all those who work with you. Also, thanks for raising our 4 boys, Patrick, Connor, Kevin, and Rourke. They couldn't be here today, but they wish they were. They love it here in Italy. They have turned out to be fine gentlemen thanks to what you've done for them. You keep our family grounded, you keep me humble, and our lives fun. I love you. I look forward to our next adventure together at Fort Bragg and our move this week, too. Now, I'll talk a little bit about the accomplishments of USARAF and CTAF. I'm amazed at everything the soldiers and civilians of USARAF have done in the last 2 years. We've blazed new trails for the Army and how we employed regional line forces. Brigade Combat Team 2-1, Armored Brigade Combat Team out of Fort Riley, became available to us in April of 2013. These allocated soldiers from Riley have allowed the Army to provide General Rodriguez a relevant and ready force with soldiers who understand Africa and possess the skills required to train African peacekeepers and build institutions there. We're making a difference in Africa despite some recent setbacks. I look at the fact that so far in just 2014 alone, we have trained more than 5 infantry battalions consisting of 4,500 African soldiers. They will fight insurgents in their own country. They'll also support African Union and United Nations peacekeeping operations throughout the continent. 2-1 Armored Brigade Combat Team in the last year has trained well over 12,000 African soldiers by themselves, covering a full range of tasks from managing combat stress to tactical combat casualty care, command and control, combat patrols, border operations, just to name a few. Their work has been simply remarkable. To you soldiers from USARAF standing on this field today, you and thousands like you serving in Africa every day are why I still serve this great Army. You lived and trained alongside your partners in places most of you probably never heard of: Niger, Chad, Malawi, Nigeria, Burkina Faso, just to name a few. And you prepared your partners for very difficult missions in Africa. You also conducted challenging exercises to improve your readiness and the readiness of your partners. You deployed with little notice to protect the U.S. Embassy and stayed there for nearly 4 months to protect the threatened American citizens there. You stand ready to repeat that mission if Americans are threatened once again in Africa. More importantly, every day you were in Africa, you showed how an army operates in a democracy, through the Army values you embody through your words and actions. I remain very proud of the American soldier who protects and promotes our values so well and faithfully. I received an email this week from Ambassador Janine Jackson from Malawi, who gave some third-party affirmation confirming what I've been saying about the difference we're making in Africa. You know, I like Malawi because the Chief of Defense there prevented a coup and enabled the Vice President, Joyce Bandit, to succeed and become the president in 2012 when the president there died. In the email, Ambassador Jackson wrote the following about the peaceful transition that's ongoing in Malawi this week. Quote, "I would like to thank you for USARAF's superb support for our security cooperation efforts in Malawi over the past several years. Their relationship remains strong. The Malawi Defense Force really demonstrated in the last few days why our assistance can be so valuable. The elections were contentious, and the Malawian Defense Force officers were key to both security and carrying out their proper role in a democracy. In the end, Joyce Bandit did not win, and the former president's brother is now in office," unquote. Now, as General Rodriguez knows better than anybody, everything in Africa is very complicated, to include what really happened in Malawi. But in the end, the Army there did the right thing and guaranteed the peaceful transition of power through a valid election, something learned by associating with U.S. Army soldiers. I want to acknowledge the new team coming on board. Major General Darryl Williams, it's great to see you and your family here today. And we want to welcome Aaron, Zachary, and Nathan. And I know that Kendall will be here as soon as she can with her family. This is a great place to visit. They'll love it. And Zachary will be a great field artillery officer, and Nathan, you know, good luck at West Point. It's a piece of cake. You will love being in Italy like we did and commanding these great soldiers and civilians in USARAF. You will be challenged to meet the threats and opportunities that arise every day in Africa. But you will enjoy working with the AFRICOM team and with the Army's regionally aligned forces to take on these challenges. I envy you taking over this high-performing organization and at this critical time for both the United States and Africa. I wish you all the best. Lead well. Finally, I've spent this last week reflecting on what is important in life and asking myself if we are really making a difference in Africa. You know, is what we're doing really important? And I got another email. I got an email from General Ham, General Retired Ham, who was the previous AFRICOM commander and hosted this ceremony 2 years ago. In that email, General Ham answered my questions when he wrote, quote, As you look back at your time in Africa, know in your heart that USARAF made a real and lasting difference. USARAF led lots of specific programs, operations, and planning efforts. But what I will always remember is how USARAF treated our African partners with genuine and heartfelt respect and dignity. And they saw that too. They knew that in USARAF, they had Americans in whom they could place their unwavering trust. This was and is remarkable, unquote. So ladies and gentlemen, I am humbled and proud and very lucky to have served with you these last 2 years. USARAF, you have lots of difficult work ahead of you. Know that your efforts are recognized as being remarkable. Do not waver, hesitate, or slow the pace of what you're doing. The American people and your African partners trust you because you are professionals. Most importantly, know that you are making a real difference in Africa and in our Army. I have been honored to have been part of something that is really making a difference in this world. Thank you for coming today. Grazie mille. Alla prossima, Lions League.